Y'all want black people to protest. Y'all want us to petition. Y'all want us to march. Where were the votes? Where were y'all at in November? Because that's really all we needed from you. That's all we asked of you. Where are the votes? You want us to march? Why don't you march your ass to them polls and vote for Kamala? Every marginalized group want black people to fight. When are we going to win? I'm tired of just fighting for everybody else to win. When do we get the W?
Fuck that No Kings rally and fuck that Purple Revolution. That stuff ain't got nothing to do with black folks. Black folks do not have to fight for this goddamn country. This country don't ever fight for us. All right? But now because the majority population here in America is suffering and a lot of y'all are starving, and what this administration is doing to y'all, right? It's hurting y'all pockets. Now you want to talk about let's come together. For what? Why? You'll be all right, right? Y'all, some of y'all claim that y'all the superior race and y'all are well, hey, you got it. Go be superior. You know, because that's a y'all problem. Y'all figure it out. And then all this fear mongering that y'all keep saying, you know, oh, they coming for black folks next. When did they ever stop? Matter of fact, some of you people that was saying that, you know, they're coming for black folks next, you're the same ones that came for us. You the same ones that talk bad about us online. You the same one that generalize us and paint us to be, you know, bad and evil and violent and things like that. So why the heck should we care that you're starving now? And that this administration is hurting your pockets and your family is being affected and you damn near about to live on the streets. Should people care about that? No. Hey, whatever happens is going to happen. All right. Until then, I'm eating popcorn and drinking wine and watching this shit burn. All right.
Black people want to be left alone. They don't want revenge. They don't want to replace us, as some extremist groups have said. They just want to live life in peace, the way they want to live. They want family, they want love, and they want to live in a society where they know they belong here. They want society to also know that they belong here. They want to walk out their door and not worry that they're going to be treated unfairly, or they're going to get that look like they're not welcome, or that someone's going to try to touch their hair like a zoo animal. Yes, they want they want white people to fix white problems of prejudice and ignorance and all the ways that a wrongful sense of superiority is baked into our society. Yes, they want that to change. Yes, they want acknowledgement for harms done. They don't want us to just explain things away or justify or gloss over things without really listening. But more than anything, they want to be themselves, fully express who they are, love who they are, be with their family, and live in peace. That's it.
Greetings, my lovely people, and welcome back to my channel. So a large number of white protesters are furious and questioning why black people didn't show up for the No Kings protest, a movement against the Republican regime. And black people have come out to give out their reasons. And without much further ado, let's get to listen to their reactions. Then you come back with commentary.
So before you start gaslighting black Americans about why they are not going to be outside protesting with you, just know that we are standing in solidarity with you. Just know that we are there with you in spirit, but we cannot physically be out on the front lines because they will be using us as target practice. I'm sure that you're well of your privilege, and I need you to use it immediately. For the longest time, black voices and black bodies have been the backbone of resistance in this country, to the point where I don't even know if you know how to resist without black bodies and black voices. And unfortunately, it's no longer our turn, because we showed up in November in 20 black Suburbans like Sunday service, and we feel like we did our part. So to the Latinos, the Anglo-Saxons, the Asians who don't never say shit, they don't never protest nothing, to all the communities that have silently benefited from the labor of black resistance, it's go time. It's your turn. It's no longer our turn right now.
Y'all want black people to protest. Y'all want us to petition. Y'all want us to march. Where were the votes? Where were y'all at in November? Because that's really all we needed from you. That's all we asked of you. Where are the votes? You want us to march? Why don't you march your ass to them polls and vote for Kamala? Every marginalized group want black people to fight. When are we going to win? I'm tired of just fighting for everybody else to win. When do we get the W? Because this funny thing happens. Every time we get out there and start fighting for everybody else gets the W. They get to take home the trophy. They get to take home the ring. But black people just get stuck with the fight. So let's try it the other way. How about y'all fight and we take home the trophy and the ring and the W? How about that? Y'all spent a year and a half singing and dancing. I will vote for Donald Trump. Y'all sitting up there shaking shoulders and shit. And now your rights being taken away. Now you're getting kicked out of a country that you came here in the right way. You came here the right way. Y'all, a lot of y'all are going through the correct process. Y'all are actually doing what you're supposed to do, and you're still getting kicked out. It's not the system, it's the person. You voted this person in, and now you're suffering the consequence. I really ain't got too much sympathy, mainly because all of this shit was avoidable. All you had to do was vote. That's all you had to do. But you decided to do the fool and vote for your boy, and now here we are. So you either wait your 3.5 years and we try it again, or next year during midterm elections, you can get the right people in Congress that'll actually make a move for you, because representation in there, they ain't doing shit but what that man says. So unless you decide to vote blue, you gonna have to get out. You gonna get flued out the country.
I have not seen one video of a black woman at the No Kings March. And I'm sure they're out there, but it was overwhelmingly white liberals. And I went back and forth with myself. I was like, should I protest? Should I not? But then I settled on, I'm tired. I don't know. As a black woman, I feel like I've been protesting since 2020. And we show up to the polls, 92%. We've done our part, and I feel like it is time to let other people do theirs. Don't mean that I don't care. Don't mean that these issues aren't important. But yeah, it's time to let this be a collective effort instead of all on us.
It's No King's Day! We are protesting for because we feel that we deserve all the rights in the world, okay? And we deserve it now! And not MAGA! We deserve it now! I haven't had anyone touch my titty since 1995. But we will never listen to men! No!
I wouldn't be surprised if my ex-wife is out there protesting.
So I actually wasn't going to make a video at first about the No Kings protest, but I decided to make one because I just seen a couple people talk about the No Kings protest in the black community and just how it was like not useful or like not going to affect us or change anything the way we thought it was. And I just kind of wanted to like talk about it a little bit because honestly I think it's a little bit of lack of knowing why we're protesting and a lack of knowing everything that's happening in the political world. And I'm going to be honest, I don't know every single thing that's happening in the political world. I don't. I try to keep up to date as much as I can. I'm reading about things. If I hear something, I'm looking into it because I need to know. Like, honestly, I'm at this point, I'm 23. I'm at this point where I cannot, like, not know what's going on in my country. I have a daughter. I have myself. Like, I genuinely need to know what's going on in the world and how it's going to impact us. The things that have been happening in the political world are truly really scary things. Like, I get it. You guys think like, oh, it's just the president, or oh, we can't do anything. But we are the people. Back in the day, we fought for our rights. We fought for people to have rights and to be the will of the people of America. Like, we're one of the only places where our thoughts, our wants are important, actually. What we actually want as a people, as a whole, actually matters. So showing up as a whole does make a difference, whether you think it's just a little protest or not. And to add to that more, I'm just saying, like, yes, the protest is not going to like change what's happening overnight. It's not. And it's not even about like fighting back in that moment. Honestly, going to No Kings protest is showing up and saying, like, we see what the government is doing. We see them slowly challenging, especially Trump. We see Trump slowly challenging these stands that we've had for a very long time, challenging our rights, challenging the, I don't know, government system that we have and trying to be more of a dictatorship. We see that and we won't stand for that. Like, we're going to the protest. The protest is saying, like, we will show up. like we can show up and we will. So I just wish more people had showed up, especially I'm in Cleveland. I wish more people had showed up just to say we will show up for this. Like, we're not going to let you just get away with this. There was a lot of people at the protest. The protest happened over all the states, all 50 states. There were protests, and I love that. I love that everyone showed up. I just saying that I wish more like people would understand and show up, like, because this does affect us, and it will continue to affect us if we do nothing. And the protest did make a difference. It's letting them know, like, we are going to stand up for what we believe in, and we are going to show up when we need to show up.
Y'all talk about critical race theory a lot, but I'm starting to think none of you know anything about critical race theory either. The civil rights movement was literally the blueprint on how to fight authoritarianism. Black Americans are the only group of people in America that has lived under white supremacy and white authoritarianism for hundreds of years. They're the ones that have been fighting it every single step of the way up until now, and y'all won't even look at the civil rights movement for advice, for ideas. I didn't hear not one person talking about boycotts to Apple, who is completely with the administration, to Amazon, who is completely with the administration. None of these corporations were called out to be boycotted. I didn't see anybody talking about registering people to vote for the 2026 election. What the fuck are y'all doing?
I'm watching footage from the No Kings protest, and I'm seeing sprinkles of black women there. I mean, I know the country is burning, but I thought we collectively agreed to sit this one out. Not saying that we shouldn't exercise our rights, but didn't we already do that at the polls back in November? Shouldn't we be preparing for Juneteenth and those festivities? Where I'm becoming concerned is that if more of us show up to those protests, then they're going to start blaming it on us. I mean, if you're going to protest, okay, but please just be sure that you're taking care of yourself first.
Black people say that they stayed at home, not out of apathy, but out of safety. This is because when black people tend to protest, when they're outside, the police or law enforcement tends to escalate. The system doesn't see a peaceful protest when black people are protesting. They always see it as a threat. So when black people always stand up, they are criminalized, beaten, jailed, and painted as violent. But when other people protest, it's not always like that. And that's why they feel that the double standards isn't just exhausting, it is dangerous. Secondly, black people have been fighting for centuries, from the civil rights movement to the Black Lives Matter movement, you know. They have been on the front, fighting for everybody. And maybe this time, it's time for them to take a rest, you know. Maybe it's time the rest of America finally stands up for itself. So when many black Americans did show up for the protest, it is not because they don't care. It is because they have learned from history. They know that how the police escalation works every time they're outside. They know how the media coverage flips the narrative, you know. They know that a peaceful protest can turn into the so-called riot in minutes, not because of what they do, but because of who they are. Black people also feel so frustrated because they tried to warn white people against voting for the current regime, but they were ignored, laughed at, you know. They didn't just care to listen to them. So black people say that they protested at the polls. They protested in silence. They have done their part. They voted, you know. The real question should be, why aren't white people not showing up in numbers that can shake the system the way black people have always done it? When you look at every movement in the US history, it has always been powered by black people, black pain, black resilience. So maybe this time, black people decided to rest, you know, because rest is also a form of protest. Choosing peace is also a form of protest. Because they already fought, you know, for the right to live, for the right to vote, and to be heard. And they have paid the price over and over again. The harsh truth is that unity in America has always been an illusion, you know. People want solidarity only when it benefits them. And that's why black people have come to this realization that people like using them, but they're always left to fight for themselves when they are in trouble. Thank you so much for tuning in. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share. Have a good one. I'll see you in the next video.